Okay, so the computer says we're live. So hello everyone, welcome back to my live stream. I'm just hoping that everything is okay, and I can see that the microphone is moving. That means that it should be all okay. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, we can start. We can definitely start. So I'm here. It's Sunday. It's really lovely outside actually. The clocks went back 1 hour, so that means it's quite light outside, I would say, which is quite nice. So that is good, right? But we're still sticking to our normal schedule for now, and we're gonna paint this beautiful one with the awesome potions, because I felt like I wanted to have some potion. Johan says, yeah, we hear you. Okay, thank you so much, Johan. And by the way, thank you, Marlena, for joining. So this is awesome. Now, why did I go back to potions? I kind of missed potions. I used to do potions a lot, like a year ago or something like that. And then I stopped for some particular reason. I don't know why I stopped doing potions, because I actually like doing potions and stuff. So we're just going to continue doing that. Okay. So I had some roses, different type of roses, right? Garden roses and just normal other type of roses. So there's lots of roses around, and there's 2 potions this time. I usually do 1 potion. If you're wondering what this little thing is here, why do I have a mark on my paper? By the way, this is Saunders paper. I usually use Arches, but I realized that I had a Saunders 20 sheet paper pad that I never used, so instead of hoarding it, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna do it. But the reason why there's a spot here is because I dropped my cola on it, so by mistake. It happens. Not everybody is like that. So what we're gonna do, by the way, I'm having some of my watercolors here. I'm gonna use also this one from Jullie Maggi. This is a nice one, and I'm gonna use my schminke super granulating for all the other ones, and you know, gonna use some other colors, but just so you know kind of what I'm using, what I don't use. They're gonna be around, and I actually wanted to start with a potion, and I'm going to try this brush. It says 0 on it, but actually it's quite big. This is a squirrel hair brush, and it's more like a Japanese version. It can hold lots of water, okay? And I kind of like to learn how to use it. It has really pointed tip. I really like it. But for now, this is what we're gonna do. So I'm going to start with this one, and the first potion is actually going to be a combination of yellow, orange, and maybe some green. Okay, so we're gonna talk. Why do I like Saunders paper? I like it. It's a little bit more expensive than your regular Arches, if that could be even a thing, because Arches is very expensive, to be honest. But it's probably because it comes from the UK, and that's why it's so expensive. It's not that I particularly like it. It is not as white. So let's say that you would have Arches be super white as a paper, and Saunders a bit more cream colored, like, so it's not all white. But from a paper point of view, I would say has similar properties. You do have to be careful what you do, and I feel like Arches is the only one that, you know, doesn't dry out too fast, I would say. If you're thinking about certain things, like a paper is very good when it doesn't dry out. A paper is very good when it doesn't bleed unnecessarily, right? And right now I'm, as you can see, adding lots of water. two things. So let's see how this one holds up. But it's a good paper, I'm not denying it. It's not going to be making or breaking the bank. What happens is paper usually loses the gum in it, right? So if you don't use it for a long time, or if you don't use it, it does have an expiration date. So, you know, as much of a hoarder as I am, and trust me, I am a hoarder, I just don't want to have spent the money on something and then end up with it being in the expiration date. So that's why. The bubbles will be very light, so that's okay. I'm thinking, what should I do for the other one? Okay, let's try a different yellow, even more paler yellow, if that's even possible. The color I'm using are Palo Alto from the Artist Palette, and on the other one I used the Nickelazzo yellow. So if you didn't know. And now I'm using a color that is really fun. It's called Sea Poppy. It fits very well with this. It's like a purple kind of thing. So I'm going to let the two mix, right? This is more of a cloudy potion. The other one is more bright. And then maybe I'll use some blue. This brush has the advantage of holding lots of water, but that means everything I put down will just have a very weird color because it's a little bit too much water. That's okay, you know, we can handle it. In a way, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to test this watercolor paper, the Saunders. I want to see how much water can it handle, you know. So we'll see if it's actually any good. Notice what I'm doing here. I'm dropping it. And then I'll also see how the colors actually dry out on the paper. Okay, so that was one. Let me think very carefully what I want. I'll use another palette as well. This is the Iceland palette, also from Jullie Maggi. And why am I looking at it? Because I want this one to be more yellow. So we have seven ones. You see what happens here? The color goes where it shouldn't be going. So that means that the paper is bleeding a little bit. Okay. So if I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 7 ones, and I would like this one to be with yellow. So 1 yellow, different stages of yellow, right? So yellow, probably this one also with yellow, right? Then I have yellow purple, then yellow orange, and then purple red, the other 3. So let's see what do I have. I have what's called Iceland yellow, and then we're gonna use tundra orange and other yellows to make this one nice. Okay. The funny part is Iceland yellow. It's not necessarily a very strong color. So although I put a lot of water in it, it's not something that would be like, wow, it's so strong. But if I'm gonna put tundra yellow here, tundra orange, now that's going to be much more. Okay, then I'm going to use the nickel azo yellow for the other ones. So it's a fun combination of yellows and oranges. And I'm going to have to let it dry out. And then we're gonna come with second layers and so on, you know. So that's one here. I'm going to do the same. Why I like this brush? It's a very big brush. So it can hold so much water, and it can help so much that it's really nice. My husband's computer is making noise. I think what's happening is some of our cats' hair is getting really inside the computers. I think I never realized why cat's hair is so, it enters everything, man. Notice what I'm doing here is I'm picking up color with a brush because I want some parts to be lighter than others. So, and that is why this brush is so cool. And the same here, picking up some color with the brush. What I'm doing is I'm cleaning up the brush, and then I'm just using a clean brush to pick up the color. Okay, so far so good. Okay, so 1, 2, and I'm wondering if I should do a third one here. Yeah, I should do a third one there. Let's do it. So we're gonna have Iceland yellow, which looks more like a brown. It looks very much like a brown. I'm gonna have tundra yellow, or tundra orange, I would say. Looks really like an orange. And then we're gonna have nickel azo yellow doing the rest. Okay. And we're just gonna let that dry. Then we're gonna go with secondary colors. It's gonna be fine. Look how overpowering the nickel azo yellow is. Okay. Okay. So I have 2. Then I realized that I have the same color twice. November sky. What do I want? I said that I wanted some really nice blue with some really nice purple. So I'm going to use the Potter's Pink. Potter's Pink is different because it's not as strong as a color as Galaxy Pink, but Galaxy Pink is made with Potter's Pink. So, you know, I'm gonna use Potter's Pink here. Dun, dun, dun. And we're gonna use Tundra Violet. And some blue. And the blue is Thunder Blue. Now you might think that blue doesn't exist for roses. I'm pretty sure it does. And if it doesn't, then we'll pretend we're in a different world. And we make ourselves like that. Okay. Okay, I'll do that one, and then I need the yellow with purple. So we're gonna do yellow. And we're gonna do purple. And the purple is going to be actually the potter's pink. Yellow and purple go very well together, trust me. I would know. So potter's pink it is. The yellow is very overpowering, but potter's pink can stand on its own. Okay. And then we're gonna do some more potter's pink here. In a way, I'm making good progress here somehow. I'm using El Dorado, and then I'll use the Sea Puppy from the other set. This is just the first layer, and this is what you do. You just put down a first layer, and then you wait for it to dry, and then you do a second layer, and so on and so forth, right? So now the last one. The problem with the pinks in any palette pinks are going to be very, very much not transparent. So you have to be very careful what you do, because the lines are just going to go not very well. So I'm pulling some color off just to make sure that they're pretty transparent. Then we're gonna see how that goes. Yeah. And it's okay if kind of all of them are very similar in color. We don't mind. I'm going to blast it with the heat tool, okay? Because this is going to take forever to dry. And I have my heat tool here, and I'm just going to turn it on. My apologies in advance for the noise. Now I'm gonna use some of my smaller brushes to use this warm gray to just add some gray to the bottles. I'm thinking it still needs that big brush. wonder which one should I use. This one. Let me put my hands on. It's still pretty cold to the touch, but I think it's all dry. Now we're gonna add extra layers. That's how we're doing it. So extra layers here on top of the nickel azo yellow. I'm gonna add some alizarin crimson here. And we're gonna add some more green here. And now I'm just spreading it around with a brush, only with water. So you see nickel azo yellow made it much darker. And this is actually quinacridone gold hue, this part. It's gonna be okay. Okay. Let's actually put even more red here. This is a love potion of the wall, so, you know, let's see. Now I remember why I don't use this paper too much. It's because it bleeds. Oh. And I'm pretty sure it's not the brush. Although some people might say it's the brush, but I don't think it is the brush. Okay, now. Let's try and see. I'm adding more pink at the base of the petals, right? Exactly where the other petals would meet, just so that we make it look like there's shadows there. After that will dry, then I'll introduce more colors. I just wanted to make the shadows stand out, and then we're gonna use glazing to add even more. Okay. Okay. Yep, that's one. Here, the other one. I will add some blue. Yep. And then I will add some pink on this other side. So basically it's a lot of adding of shadows and adding second layers, third layers, and every other layer in between that you can think of, and doing it until you have the desired effect. Okay, and then that's what we're gonna do. I miss doing potions, by the way. Okay, let me see. The winter sky, it's a really nice blue, I think. That's going to be really nice mixing here. And then I'll use the November sky, which is a darker blue, you know, to add some more stuff here. And then going back, oops, I am doing some coloring wrong here. It's okay. This is gonna be my yellow. Let me think if I should add some yellow here. Maybe from the petals. It should be enough to go. I mean, okay. This is gonna require more and more. It's gonna require a lot more layers than I thought it's going to. But it's okay. We're in no hurry, although it's nice outside. You know what it means if it's nice outside at this hour? So now it's 7 o'clock. That means that even if after I come from work, and I might need to come, that means I can go with my bike and have some fun. Because what happened before this is at a certain hour, like I would finish work, then I wouldn't have time to have the fun I needed with the bike, because it would have gotten really late. But now I'm seeing this and I'm like, I'm happy. That means I can still bike till maybe 8 p.m. So I'm glad that the days are getting longer, to be honest. That's good. Okay. And now I'm gonna use this, which one? Quinacridone Gold Hue. It's a nice one. Yeah. What do you have now that, do you guys have the same feeling that the days are longer and then you can do a lot more? Because I'm quite happy with the days nowadays. That means I can actually have my evenings back in a way, right? Which is good. I forgot to say that I'll probably, not this week, that it's upcoming, but the week after, I'm going to be in the UK. So I will probably miss the Wednesday stream because I'll be in the UK. So I can't actually have a stream while I'm in the UK. But I'll try to do the stream from Sunday. I'll try to do it Saturday, so that you guys don't miss too much of me. Because, you know, I will have to wake up at 4 in the morning on Monday to catch my flight. So I kind of don't want to make it too late on a Sunday. So what I will do is I'll probably just switch the live streams around. It's okay, right? And then the week after I'll go back to my normal live stream. This week live stream that is upcoming, it's probably going to be maybe in a different day as well, because okay, let's put it out there. I'm really trying to get back to my training. So I'm really trying to get back to me being a little bit more healthier. So I made a decision that I'm going to go to the gym. But of course, to the gym, since, you know, Voldemort is still raging and all of that stuff, I have to make appointments. And the appointments I can make are at certain hours. That means I will have to go to the gym on Wednesday. It's okay. But we will have to see when I do my live stream. Maybe on a different day. And that's okay. That might mean that I need to go back to having a little bit more videos that are just made. So not live streaming so much as, you know, being aware and making just a video for a certain day. Not that I'm like super upset about it, because actually I might think that that's a better idea. I was only doing live streams anyway because I was thinking I don't necessarily have time to edit videos and to do stuff. But now I probably have a little bit more time on my hands. So I'll maybe go back to it. I have some videos that I wanted to make. Some videos about my favorite things. About my favorite colors all around and so on. So I'm pretty sure that we can make something fun. I also have a video, I have 2 videos about a haul I made and about how I rearrange my everything around my desk. If you guys didn't know, my desk is to be a little bit more messy than it is right now. And my husband helped me a lot to make it more nicer. So now I have the correct things all around. I only have one light, so I made a little bit more room above. And actually I filmed the entire process. So I was actually considering that I will show you guys that being really part of my process, part of the, I would say, the craft room. It's so funny that I'm still calling it craft room, although I haven't crafted in a while. Maybe we should talk about crafting. I was thinking of making a KonMari with my crafting supplies, and that is because, first of all, I'm not really using them that much anymore, and I'm afraid they will just go bad. Like, think about all the inks I have, like the Tim Holtz and all of that. Like, okay, stamps and so on, they don't necessarily go bad, it's fine, right? But I would not want the other parts to I'm just adding a little bit more pop of color. I know, it's weird. So maybe I'll do a KonMari. I actually want to do a lot. I feel like I have lots of ideas what I want to do. I just don't seem to be disciplined enough to do them. maybe that's my problem. Maybe we should talk about how to become more disciplined. Although I'm not an expert because I'm not really disciplined. So weird, like, oh, okay. I like that you have more space to craft, design, watercolor. Yeah, it feels a little bit more liberating because once you have more space, your mind also has space. So my mind doesn't necessarily then think only on cleaning the craft room, right? It actually has space to go like, oh, okay, yeah, I get this. And it's interesting. Some people might not be overly fond of doing their space or redoing the space. I try to redo it always. And if I think back how my space used to look like, it used to be a even bigger mess. My first time I redid the space. I used to have a big block in front of me. There were some shelves and there was like really in front, and I couldn't, I didn't have really enough space to do anything here, truth be told. So my first step was to remove those ones and to make the wall as I have it right now. But yeah, you have to sometimes take it a step further. It's a process. I also have to learn, sometimes what works and what doesn't. And for me, having an open space is the most important thing. Because if I don't have an open space, I cannot work, I cannot think. To be honest, my life is a little bit broken without an open space. My mind gets too crowded, so that's why I like it. Okay, the last flower there, and then we're gonna get back adding some more concentrated stuff on these ones. And you might think that's not yellow, that looks more like brownish something. Indeed, it does look more like brownish something, but I think it's okay. I'm using the French violet from this palette. It's really nice. It's very subtle violet tone. And then we'll just use some more yellow. Okay. We'll think about this one later. Yeah, November Sky, I'm realizing that I have it twice. I had two separate palettes, but for some reason the November Sky is in both. It's okay, because it's one of my favorite colors of blue. Let me put it this way, I had lots of blues, because I always bought palettes. And you might wonder, what do you mean you always buy palettes? When I started with watercolors, I bought like a schminke palette with 24 colors and a Daniel Smith, as in already made palettes. And all these already made palettes, somehow, it made it look like they had a mind of their own. But they had always the same colors of blue, like French ultramarine, cerulean blue, etc, etc. Now, surprisingly, that is not my cup of tea. Those type of blues are way too bright for me. You notice that I'm not using bright colors, I'm using quite muted colors. So having such bright colors, It just doesn't work for me. So yeah, I just had to figure out myself that I didn't like them. But to find a company or somebody that makes the blue that I always wanted, that's very hard. Why? Because the colors are always very personal. So you can't just go around and say, make me a color as I think of it in my mind, right? You have to try out. So it took me about 3 years of trials to actually come to this conclusion, to this type of thing that I have, to this type of yellow that I like, to this type of red that I like. So mix and matching colors doesn't look all that easy right now. And you might think, why don't you mix your own color? I am terrible at mixing, and to be honest, mixing colors is not something that was on my mind to learn or to experience or to do anything about. So I don't know about you, but I don't constantly think about mixing colors in any capacity. That's why. Okay, maybe some different type of green, a little bit. Yeah, some blue green actually makes wonders here. Okay, I really like how the potions are turning out. When we're gonna add the green for the leaves, it's really going to pop up, right? So I'm just trying to add all the colors I need for the flowers for now, making sure I have the desired depth. And then we're gonna go in and do the leaves, and then the leaves is just going to tie everything together. Again, the French violet, that's a really nice violet, to be honest. Yep. This one. I was reading a story, and okay, the story is called Karina's Lost Days. It's actually a manga or like that, and it is about this girl that wasn't really, well, was a bit ignored by her parents, but she was actually a very gifted talent. And in this world that they are, you know, there's the world of the arts. So she was very good at painting, but because her parents never took notice of what she was doing and so on, she didn't really know. The funny part is she could create from her art, she could give life to her creations, which is really nice. But whenever she would do that, and because she was lonely, she was always doing that, right? She was making butterflies and so on and so forth. But she would lose her life force, and she didn't know, right? So then she gets really sick, and the doctor gave her, basically, there was a doctor who looked at her and said, well, if you want to live, you need to give up art forever, and you need to stop doing art because that's killing you, basically. And I was actually wondering myself, like, if somebody will come and tell me you have to start doing art, like, because I don't know, insert random reasons. I doubt it will kill me, but let's say people from my work will come and tell me that I have to give up doing art because I have to concentrate on my real job, right? What would I do? And I don't think that's going to be a very good thing, because I don't think I will ever be able to actually do that. I might just say, well, sorry about it, but I'm not gonna give up my I doubt I will ever be able to give up my art. You know, I'll just say, well, I'll just go and find another job or something. But that is an interesting discussion, right? Because maybe not all of us are artists. Maybe some of you that are watching me, and I'm assuming that there's quite a lot of you that are watching me, you're just doing this as a hobby, right? You're just enjoying art. It's a nice hobby to have. It can give you a lot of peace. It's always good. It has helped me out of depression many times, because the doctors always say that you need to do something with your hands if you want your mind to get better. So you need to have some sort of work with your hands, right? It could be anything. It could be, some people do sweaters or something, right? I chose to do this, but yeah, it could be pretty intense. So then my question would have always been, what if somebody at my job would go like, no, stop posting on YouTube or Instagram, because, and I got this interesting stuff, because I was watching a guy, he's a programmer guy. Well, I'm a programmer, technically. I'm a software engineer. And he got hired at Facebook, but then Facebook fired him once they learned that he had a YouTube channel. So that was an interesting thing, because it would be like, first of all, why would you do that? Why would you fire somebody because they had a YouTube channel? You know? I mean, they usually do it in their off time, and they're not, I'm not gonna say they're not bothering anybody, but I doubt they are, right? I mean, but that got me thinking, right? What if my job finds out about my channel and they go like, no, you're spending way too much time? And imagine this, right? It'll be time anyway that you would spend, because you anyway, like, a lot of people just go around and play a game, right? That's how you disconnect. You play a game, or you go biking, or everybody has a hobby, right? And the audacity of somebody to say, well, your hobby is taking too much of your time, you need to always consider your job. It's a little bit strange for me, because why would you do that to a person? Hobbies are important. Like, you even put your hobbies on your CV, right? If you're thinking about it, and it feels like we're making way too much trouble for absolutely nothing. So yeah, I'm rambling here, I know, but okay, that was a nice blue, actually. Okay. And now some people might think, like, Claudia, but don't you wanna, I don't know. Concentrate on your job or something, or don't you want art to be your only job? I don't think I would enjoy art as much if it would be my job. To be honest, the only reason why I'm enjoying it is because it's not my job. It's because it's not something I have to do every day, and it's not gonna stress me as much. And I think that's why I like it so much. But imagine if I would be forced to actually go and do that. I think I'll be like super pissed, to be honest. I don't think I would like it. It happened the same with World of Warcraft. Okay, so how is it going back to make the potion bottles? Johan is saying, okay, it's actually pretty nice. I'm realizing that I lost my touch a little bit because I didn't necessarily make these ones 3D, as in on my other potion bottles I made the potion bottles pretty 3D. But what I like is I like the depth of color. So in a way it's not that bad what I've been doing, but I think I need to go back to the potion bottles. I think those are my first, I would call it love or whatever. And I think I want to make more bottles, and maybe even make like a bookcase and stuff like that, right? You might be laughing at me right now, but then think about it from my perspective. I really like fantasy worlds. I really like going to the Efteling. You heard me many times rambling on about the Efteling and how much I like it and so on. And the truth is there are many potions and many things that are happening there. So I'm like, why wouldn't I go back to it? Just doing flowers seems nice, but I wanna try to do something more. So we'll see. Maybe I'll rekindle my, if you remember, I did like this. I started with potions, then I did a series with the moons. By the way, I still have quite some moons to to show you guys. So I did the moons, I did the potions, and then at one moment I started with teapots. And yesterday actually we were walking around in Utrecht. It's a really nice city, Utrecht. I just realized how much I missed it after I've been there. I used to live in Utrecht. Utrecht is a really old town in the Netherlands. It's like, you could say it's even older than Amsterdam. It's a really nice town. It has really nice canals. It has nice everything. And I've been there and I realized how much I enjoyed it. What was I saying? Yeah. So I've been to Utrecht, and it was the Comic Con actually also. And we've been to a place called the Dream of Utrecht, or Drome of the Dome Towers. And Utrecht has this church and this very big tower. Think of it kind of like a Big Ben in a way, right? And then you kind of get the idea. And in there we went because it used to be my favorite shop. I used to get really nice plates. Johan says it's nice to see the potions again now with your current color palette. Yeah, that's true, right? The potions do look different. I would agree with you. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so there's this shop that sells teas. And I know what you're thinking. What? Teas? Yes. They're selling teas, and they're selling teapots, and they're selling mugs and cups and everything else. It's a really nice shop. And they're also selling spices. So you can buy almost any spice you want, and you can also buy almost any tea you want, to be honest. It's a very big shop. So we've been there, and I was actually watching the teapots, and I realized that I really like them, and I was thinking, why did I ever give up doing the teapots in the first place? Because I was starting very nice. I was starting to actually draw some nice teapots with some nice flowers, and then I just stopped at one moment, and then I remembered there was this dude that used to come into my live streams, and for some reason he said at one moment that he didn't like my teapots, and I got so self-conscious that I stopped it, and now I'm realizing I should never have stopped. I'm like, why would I care about if one person tells me that they don't like my art? I should be like, okay, you don't like my art, then you go away. But I'm thinking right now that this is quite cool. So maybe I'll do some more teapots and other stuff. Not only teapots, but really fun things. But definitely potions. Maybe I'll do some new set of potions with some new different things in them and different flowers. I mean, now I know a little bit more flowers than when I started with my potions. So it can very well be that I can do a lot more. Potions is also the one thing that made me much better at drawing. So it's okay. I'm actually considering that time flies, and soon it will be October, so I need to prepare a lot of my stash, and I'm thinking this time I'll actually do things with ink. These new color palettes, I really am digging. The colors are so much me. You know what the funny part is? The style is not about... A style is not necessarily about drawing style. A lot of people try to get their style, like either drawing or painting. But I think style can be actually a color style. Because if you think about it, my flowers, my style is... on my flowers is kind of like tattoo flowers, you know? So my drawing style is like tattoo style, but actually my coloring is what makes me me. My colors that I'm choosing, that's what makes me recognizable in the eye of the people, you know, which is quite nice, I would call it. Like these dark purples and dark yellows and everything, and muted colors. Like there's nothing that screams it's alive. Right? It actually screams it's twilight, I would say, which is good. Okay, so now I only have the other ones, so let's try and see. Greenish umber. This is gonna be such a nice color, trust me. Oh yeah, man, this is such a nice color. It's called Greenish Amber. It's from the Artist Palette and I'm really loving it. And I'm gonna pair it up with some yellow. And then the other one, no, I want something that is called, no, this is the one. This color is called Shady Leaves, and I wonder why they're called Shady Leaves. What is Johan says, nice to know the Dom Tower in Utrecht is around 640 years old and around 112 meters high. That is a high tower, man. You will never see me go into that tower because, first of all, I'm afraid of heights. So don't take it the wrong way. I think the bravest thing I did was go into the Tower Bridge in London and then put one step on the glass. You know, they have this glass ceiling when you walk, and I was so scared, but then I was somehow brave enough to go and say and put one foot down. I was very brave. I was feeling very brave when I went to London last time. This time I'm going to London for work, so you know, it's not all fun and games all the time. But yeah. Is I do miss the food. The funny part in London when we've been, I mean, I used to go quite a lot in London before for my work. But in England, they have food for anybody. Like, especially me, who, you know, I have a very specific diet that I need to follow. The fact that I can buy that food at a normal convenience store is really amazing for me. In here, it will be pretty hard. And I know I've been to Denmark. Denmark is also pretty hard on the food because they only have one type of food. They don't really take into account that other people might want to eat differently. For example, I don't want to eat bread and I don't want to eat pasta and stuff. But then bread and pasta and everything is in almost every little thing that they have there. So, yeah. But it's gonna be fun. And going to London is always tricking my inspiration. Because it's a nice place to be, I would say. You know? So, okay, the one thing I didn't do good is like the caps of these ones. They look pretty flat, to be honest. Right, and this one looks pretty flat as well. I'm the first one to admit my mistakes, I would say. But I can add some white stuff to it. And then that will make it much better. Okay. What do you guys think so far? Are you with me still? It looks pretty cool. I actually like the flowers and I actually like the colors that I chose, especially for this one. This combination with this red the yellow and the green looks really nice. And this one also, this blue and this purple really work well together, and with the yellow. So I really like it. The ones that I don't like, well, like I said, the caps of the bottles, it's a little bit iffy, but all the other ones look okay, right? Like these colors are nice, these colors are nice. Maybe I'll add a little bit more of the yellow into some parts, like here. Just to give it a little bit more pizzazz. And then maybe in the center, it needs a little bit more yellow. And this is a yellow orange, right? Quinacridone Gold Hue, it's a really nice orange. And by the way, I was out of it, and then I went to the shop and I bought a second. I did not finish many colors, but the ones that I finished, I bought again. So there were 3. It was Potter's Pink, apparently, that I always use. Quinacridone Gold Hue, that finished. And Jade, which is a really dark green, that also finished. So those are the 3 ones that are finished. It's like the first time that I actually finished tubes. Because usually, okay, I finish colors in the pens, which is fine, right? But an actual tube, because that means I use that tube a lot to say that I finished those ones. So yeah, it's an interesting thing. So 3 colors. You can kind of see which ones are my favorite colors, right? By knowing how many of them I had. Like I said, this felt a little bit flat, so by adding some pop of color, I can make it better. And also that one. And then I'll have some more . Yeah. Whenever you add some white dots or white accents, it really makes everything pop. So I would say always think about your white accents. It's okay. You don't have to add many, but still, white accents should be everywhere. Even on leaves, especially the darker color ones. Okay. And I really like adding these accents at the end. Potions are nice, colors are nice. Much different than my initial potions that I did, but it's okay. Yeah, this is really nice. Okay. Fun and everything. So this was, what was I say in the beginning, Saunders watercolor paper. I hope you enjoyed it. I use kind of like my schminke super granulating and the 2 palettes from Jullie Maggi. Really nice palettes. So yeah, these are the colors that I like. I like how I did it. It's maybe not the best 3D potion ever, but I really like the mixing and matching of these ones, because I think that you don't necessarily need to do it a 3D potion, especially if I want to maybe use these ones as a means to have some stickers, right? because for the stickers what is going to be important is the mixing of colors, so that's going to be nice. Marlena says very nice design and the colors are gorgeous. Oh, thank you, Marlena, and thank you for staying so long with me until the end. So I'll see you guys somewhere this week. I'll decide whether I do it either Tuesday or Thursday, the live stream, and then for sure it's gonna be Saturday, the other one. Like I said, because I really wanna start going to the gym as well, so we'll have to move things around. But see you guys later on, and